welcome back to the channel.
Today we're going to be showing you how to make a delicious, crunchy pavlova using the Ninja Max Pro Health Grill.
Without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so for the base of the pavlova, we're going to need 3 egg whites, 175 grams of white sugar, as well as 1 teaspoon of corn flour and 1 teaspoon of white distilled vinegar. And for the filling, you're going to need some double cream, sugar, and berries of your choice. To start off, I'm going to weigh out my sugar, so 175 grams is what we need. Now I'm going to put that to a side because I'm going to need it in a minute. And now I'm going to separate my egg whites, but before I do that, I'm going to make sure that the bowl I'm going to be making the pavlova in is nice and clean and free from any potential greasy residue. So what I'm going to do is grab a paper towel, pour some white vinegar on it. Now we're going to wipe the inside of the bowl with that vinegar, which is going to help remove any greasy residue that might be on there to allow our egg whites to get nice and fluffy. And now we're going to separate the egg whites. Okay, now I'm going to grab my hand mixer. You can use a stand mixer for this as well. It will be a lot easier. We're going to start by whisking on quite high power until we get a nice foamy texture. And the aim is to see a lot of bubbles, so like a very airy texture. We don't want to overdo it because we want the sugar to be able to dissolve. This is kind of what we're looking for. And at this point, I'm going to start slowly incorporating my sugar. So I'm going to do about a tablespoon at a time, but this time I'm not going to go all the way up. I'm going to go sort of halfway on the speed. Okay, now that we've finished adding all of the sugar, I'm going to start a 5-minute timer and we're going to carry on whisking because we want the sugar to fully dissolve. Okay, so the 5 minutes are up. We've got a very glossy meringue. Yep, the sugar's nicely dissolved. We are ready to move on to the next step. We're going to mix together 1 teaspoon of corn flour and 1 teaspoon of vinegar. And now I'm going to combine the two and then add it to the meringue mixture we've just made. This is going to help us get that marshmallowy inside with a crispy outside for the pavlova. In it goes. And a final mix. Okay, now we are ready to move on to the next stage. Okay, now in order to cook our meringue, we're going to use the Max Pro Health Grill on the bake function. I've got a flat plate already inside the grill. In order to cook the pavlova, I've got some baking paper here. We're going to line the flat plate of the grill with that, and I'm going to use a little bit of oil spray onto the back of it just so it stops the paper from sliding around too much. If you don't want to do that, you could always use a bit of the pavlova mixture on there. Okay, the baking paper is down. I'm going to carefully put the mixture on top of it. Now I'm going to shape it and make sure I've got slightly more raised edges and a bit of a dip in the middle for the cream and the fruit to go. Okay, now we're going to put the lid down, turn on the grill. We're going to select the bake function and we're going to bake at 120 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. Okay, now it's been an hour. Let's have a look at the pavlova base. And As you can see, it's not perfect. It's got a couple of cracks, but it's not a big deal. We can sort that out once we add all of the toppings. Now, what you're gonna wanna do is let that sit there for a few hours to cool down completely, because you don't wanna add whipped cream and fruit to a meringue that is still hot. We're gonna do that, and to save some time, we've got a base that we made yesterday, and we're going to finish this one off. For the filling, we're going to use 250 milliliters of double cream. We're going to whisk that up nicely, and I've also got 25 grams of sugar we're going to add to this. I'm gonna whisk up the cream. Start adding the sugar. Okay, now we've got the whipped cream. With my handy dandy spatula, I'm going to add all of this lovely whipped cream to the middle of my pavlova base. You could use a piping bag if you wanted to get a bit fancier, but I'm just going to use the spatula. Okay, the cream is on, and now the exciting part. I've got here a mixture of fruit. So I've got some raspberries, some strawberries, some gooseberries, and also a couple of black currants. And I'm going to place them nicely on top of the cream, and then we'll be ready to serve. So that is how you make a delicious summer fruit pavlova.
If you want to get your hands on the Ninja Max Pro Health Grill, check out the link we've got down in our description. And if you want to see this in action cooking a different recipe, check out this video here you might like.
Thanks for tagging along, and we'll see you in the next one.